702.
The Big Interview
With Bongani Bingwa.
18 after 7. Around the country, there are an estimated 9 million children who receive food from the school nutrition program. For many of these kids, sometimes it's their only meal that day. Gauteng feeds 1.6 million children alone as a province, but now that lifeline is in trouble. In February this year, the Department of Education awarded 9 billion rand, a 3-year contract to 49 companies to deliver food across 10 districts in the province. Within a week, losing bidders went to the High Court saying some of the winners were not eligible. They accused them of being unregistered, tax dodgers, or even not existent. Some, of course, were allegedly linked to politicians. The fight now sits on the Premier's desk, but what it means, if not resolved, more than 1,600 schools could be left without meals. To explain to us what might be at stake, we've invited Lisa Sukdev, who is an attorney representing some of the aggrieved providers. The Gauteng Department of Education did not agree to speak to us on this issue. Lisa, very good morning to you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having us on air. I'm surprised that Steve Mabona, the spokesperson for GDE, declined. He's been very vocal about this topic, very often either ill-informed or blatantly misleading the public. But I am very thankful.
Perhaps they were not available today. Perhaps they might still avail themselves at a future point, and we live in hope for all of that. But Lisa, let's just start this from the beginning. I mean, I don't know if my summary of it is accurate. You are representing the bidders that lost. And of course, predictably, many people will say, isn't your case just sour grapes?
That is something that would be typical if people don't understand the facts. And I think what is crucial is for people to understand the process that has led to this, right? Because the bidders that I represent, and I'm actually a spokesperson for a group of bidders that have been disgruntled by this entire process. This bid was advertised in November 2023. It closed on the 24th of November 2023, and thereafter the GDE did warehouse inspections. I think also important for listeners to understand is this tender is not based on prices. The GDE provides the pricing and the mandatory requirements for this bid, and it is based on compliance. So they give you a list of all the things that they require you have, including warehouses, vehicles, qualified staff, etc., and they stipulate the pricing. So the GDE went out in May 2024, and they did warehouse inspections. They then awarded letters to bidders on the 19th of June 2024. And in July 2024, companies started delivering. In July 2024, companies that were then awarded, beside being awarded, they were asked to sign their SLA agreements as per the instruction from the department. And then on the 1st of August, we found that LTC Holdings, Tintinki Trading Projects, and other unsuccessful bidders launched a review application against the GDE for the above bid. The GDE served its notice to defend, but eventually they did not put up a defense, and instead they settled out of court. They then re-advertised the tender, ending 28th of February 2025 to finalize this process. Then we find on the 25th of September, the GDE sent notices to service providers to come in and sign termination letters for the same contract that was now being settled out of court. No explanation was given, but it only stated that there is a court order and that the GDE failed to produce this court order, and that an out-of-court settlement was what was agreed on. Many of the bidders refused to sign this letter. We find in October 2024, the GDE advertised the bid meant to replace the previous one. And then on the 1st of November, they withdrew the tender on the closing date with no explanations given. We suspect that most of the officials' friends were unable to satisfy the hurdle requirements of the bid, hence it was withdrawn. On the 8th of November, the GDE advertised the bid again, and on the 22nd of November, the bid closed. And on the 28th of February 2025, the GDE publishes a list of awarded bidders. This time, 49 companies were awarded, and over 26 of the companies awarded in June the previous year were suddenly eliminated during the bidding process. Coincidentally, of the companies that took GDE to court, 2 companies were now on the awarded bidders list and received some of the highest numbers in terms of learner allocation. When bidders took this matter to court, okay, on the 14th of March, one
Yeah.
of the bidders launched its review application and an urgent interdict application in the High Court. The matter was heard, and Judge Liebenberg dismissed the urgent interdict, but found enough merit in the review application. She could not uphold the interdict due to the balance of convenience for the learners to ensure that they continue to be fed whilst the legal process is reviewed. Now, the record is requested on the 2nd of April 2025. The record is requested required for the review application, and the GDE completely ignores this and does not answer it. The GDE eventually sent the Bid Evaluation Committee report and a few other documents that were shockingly totally disorganized, and it shows you the lack of respect that they have for this process or their accountability to the public at large. Okay, and the most important documentation was also missing. On the 17th of April, the bidders brought an application to compel the GDE to make available the complete record, and the GDE failed to provide the complete record. On the 13th of May, the application to compel is heard by Judge Wanless, and the judge ordered the GDE to deliver the full record. That means all documents,
Yeah.
notes, meeting minutes, evaluation committee minutes, BAC reports. BAC we're referring to is the Bid Adjudication Committee. And the reason that these documents were requested is there is a valid process that is gazetted by Treasury. You know, you do your bid
Yeah.
submission, a bid evaluation committee has to look at those documents. They've got to take minutes.
All right, Lisa, I'm going to
Then you've
interrupt
got
you
a
there. I'm
bid.
going to interrupt you there
Sure.
because I think you've given us the gist of the background. So essentially what you're saying, these bids went out, sometimes were withdrawn, some bidders were awarded, at times that was withdrawn. It's gone to court. There have been some orders to at least provide the record of decision. Has that, as things stand now, been provided?
No. So in the last visit to court, there was an application brought to hold the GDE in contempt. And they then came with a supplementary affidavit stating under oath that they do not have any further documentation. This is proof that this entire process, this entire bid process, is now irregular because they have not followed due process.
How did the court respond to
basic
that?
due process. So the court has given us leave to review, and this matter now will then continue in court.
What are you appealing for now, and what does this all mean for the kids who are reliant on this program?
So I have to tell you that the bidders, despite the fact that they have incorrect allocations, right? Remember that any tender is meant to empower. But what this process has done is merely disempowered people that genuinely firstly qualify
Sure,
to
Lisa.
provide the
Lisa,
service.
I'm gonna need you to answer what I'm asking you.
Okay.
What are you appealing for now, and what has all of this meant for the learners reliant on this program?
Yes, the learners have not been impacted. So the bidders still continue to provide the food to the schools on a weekly basis. The children are not impacted in this in any way. What we are appealing for is that this bid process needs to stop where it is right now, and it needs to be redone correctly as mandated by Treasury.
Is there a probe that could look at all of this independently and determine what was right and what was wrong?
100%. So in June this year, we were told by GDE that they would get that they would have this reviewed, okay, by the Auditor General. To date, there is absolutely no feedback, despite us asking repeatedly, where are the results of the audit?
Have you written to the Premier's
And
office?
Yes, we've written to the Premier's office.
And?
We've written to the Premier's office via email. We have received read receipts and delivery reports. We've hand delivered letters, which were signed for by their office. There's radio silence.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Appreciate your time. Lisa Sukdev, an attorney representing aggrieved providers. We are continuing to reach out to the Gauteng Education Department to obviously have their perspective on this. And when they are available, we'll certainly put them on the radio.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.